My cousin always bragged about being Grandpa's favorite. The cousin one. He swore the house, the cars, and everything Grandpa owned would be his someday. But when Grandpa revealed the truth, that illusion shattered. And just when we thought it couldn't get worsey, he got caught trying to steal from Grandpa himself. This is how karma hit my entitled cousin harder than anyone saw coming. If you've ever watched karma do its work on someone who desperately deserved it, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real stories where justice comes full circle. And let's dive into this one, because you won't believe how it ends. Growing up, family reunions were supposed to be something to look forward to. But for me, they always came with one guaranteed headache: my cousin Jake. Jake was only a year younger than me, 30 now, but you'd think he was still that spoiled kid who got everything he wanted. He wasn't a bad guy on paper. No drugs, no wild parties, decent job, college degree. But his ego, it could fill the entire family reunion hall. Ever since we were kids, Jake wore the title of Grandpa's favorite, like a crown. He'd brag about it constantly. Every call, every holiday, every family dinner. But the truth, it wasn't favoritism, it was geography. Jake lived 5 minutes away from our grandparents. The rest of us lived states away. I was the farthest, a 13-hour drive. Naturally, Grandpa and Grandma spent more time with the grandson who lived right there. But Jake twisted that into some delusional fantasy that he was special. Even his parents, my aunt and uncle, called him out. But you can't reason with someone who's already convinced the world revolves around them. Fast. Forward to last summer. My grandma passed 10 years ago, and Grandpa, now Nendy, 2 and still shockingly healthy, was getting older. Dad and the rest of the siblings were having serious talks with him, funeral plans, insurance, his will, the kind of practical but painful stuff families eventually face. We were all meeting at the big summer reunion, something Grandpa insisted on hosting every year. He said it kept the family close. And for the first few hours, it actually felt like that. Laughter, barbecue, old music, all of us sharing stories under the fading summer sun. Then Jake opened his mouth. I was by the food table when I heard him brag to a few cousins. He leaned back in his chair, smirking like a man who already owned the world, and said, "Chor, you guys know Grandpa's leaving me the house and the cars, right? I mean, I'm the one who's always there for him." The entire table went quiet. We all knew Jake's attitude, but hearing him say it so bluntly was still infuriating. My cousin Aaron tried to diffuse it with a laugh. "Chor, Jake, you don't know that." But he just shrugged. "Please. Grandpa tells me everything. I help him with the cars. We talk every week. It's obvious." We all exchanged looks, the kind that said, "Here we go again." No one responded, hoping silence would kill the arrogance. But Jake thrived on attention. He got louder, his grin stretching wider. "Chor, you'll see. When the time comes, I'll be the one keeping Grandpa's house. You guys can fight over what's left." That's when Grandpa, who'd been sitting nearby with a lemonade, quietly stood up. His voice, calm but firm, cut through the chatter. "Chor, Jakey, why don't you ask me directly about that?" You could have heard a pin drop. We all gathered around, 9 grandkids in total, like it was some kind of family courtroom. Grandpa, leaning on his cane but standing tall, looked at us with the same steady eyes he'd always had. "True, I love each of you equally," he said. "You're all my grandkids, and when my time comes, my home and the cars will be sold. The money will be divided evenly among all 9 of you. Simple, fair, beautifully fair." But Jake, he went nuclear. His face turned red, veins bulging, fists tightening. He stammered at first, then exploded. "Chor, what? That's not fair! I'm the one who's been there for you! I'm your favorite, Grandpa, you said so! And you're giving money to Erin, she's not even blood related?" The air snapped. Erin froze. You could see the hurt flash in her eyes. She'd been in the family since she was 12. To us, she was family. Always had been. But Jake, in that moment, wasn't seeing family, he was seeing entitlement slip away. My uncle, Jake's own father, slammed his hand on the table. "Chor, enough, Jake. Sit down before you embarrass yourself more." But Jake didn't stop. He threw his drink down, stormed off, muttering curses under his breath. The rest of us sat there in stunned silence, anger bubbling under the surface. That was the day Jake's favorite fantasy died. And honestly, I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward a few weeks. I got a call from one of my cousins late at night, the kind of call that makes your stomach drop before you even answer. Chua. "You're not going to believe this," she said, half laughing, half stunned. "Jake got arrested." I sat up.
What? For what?
"He tried to steal one of Grandpa's cars." I thought she was joking, but no. Apparently, Jake, in a fit of self-pity or desperation, decided he deserved one of Grandpa's classic cars early. Grandpa and my uncle had been rebuilding them for years, these beautiful old machines restored to perfection. But Jake had never lifted a finger to help. So in his infinite wisdom, he decided to break into Grandpa's garage at night and take one. Only problem. He picked the one that didn't even run yet. The engine was half apart, sitting on a jack stand. The man literally tried to hotwire a car with no engine block. Grandpa's security system alerted the cops before Jake could even get the garage door open all the way. When they caught him, he was apparently shouting, "Chua! It's mine! He promised me this car." The arrest report must have been embarrassing enough, but what came next hit harder. Jake's parents, my aunt and uncle, refused to bail him out. Grandpa told the family he'd be meeting with his attorney that week to officially remove Jake from the will. Poetic justice, right? The favorite grandson, the one who thought he'd inherit everything, ended up losing it all. The family group chat exploded that week. Half the messages were disbelief, half were memes. One cousin even joked, well, at least now Jake's closer to Grandpa's house, in the county jail. But beneath the humor, there was sadness too. Because Jake wasn't evil. He was lost, entitled, sure, arrogant, absolutely. But somewhere along the line, he'd confused proximity for love and inheritance for validation. Maybe he thought being the favorite meant being special. But Grandpa's lesson that day, and the days after, proved something deeper. Love doesn't play favorites. Entitlement destroys everything it touches. And the irony, Grandpa still visits him. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Because that's the kind of man he is. The kind Jake never truly understood. When Grandpa returned from meeting his lawyer, he called me. His voice was calm, steady, but I could tell there was pain behind it. "Chore? I never thought I'd have to do that," he said quietly. But sometimes, teaching someone the value of family means taking away what they think they deserve. Jake was officially removed from the will. The rest of us would still inherit equally, including Aaron, who Grandpa made a point to call his granddaughter in writing, Jake's name. Gone. His favorite title. Meaningless. The man who believed he owned everything ended up with nothing. And somehow, that felt like the most fitting ending of all. Entitlement is a funny thing. It blinds you to reality. Jake thought he could control love with distance, family with inheritance, and respect with arrogance. But karma has a way of bringing people back down to earth. Hard. In the end, it wasn't revenge. It was justice, slow, painful, and perfectly fair. So what do you think? Did Grandpa do the right thing cutting Jake out of the will? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've ever seen karma catch up to someone like this, share your story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because sometimes the best revenge is just letting karma do its work.